bent out of shape that Sam says that the majority of Israelis don't care about what is happening to the Palestinians, all to, in the end, agree with him. Because as Sam rightly pointed out, they weren't protesting to stop the genocide. They were protesting to get the hostages back. They have made very fucking clear that they don't give a shit about what happens to the Palestinians, the vast majority.
I think that unfortunately might be true to the extent that
they've gotten
much more radical. Unfortunately, tragically, everybody's been a lot more radicalized since October 7th. And that's tragic. I agree. I think people in Israel are jaded and they are cynical and they don't care, like you said, and I think it's tragic.
And before anyone tries to do the not all men or not all white people routine, no one's fucking saying literally every person. We use all as a general term for the majority, okay? No one's saying literally every single person. No, the majority. And by polling data, which Ethan, of course, wants to ignore, by polling data, the majority of Israelis polled said that they think that what is happening in Gaza is either fine or not going far enough. It's over 70%. That's a majority. So when we say the Israelis support what is happening in Gaza, we are talking majorities. But he wants to tap dance around that, even though in the end he agrees with what Sam is saying. And the same people that get upset when you point out the polling data about how Israelis feel about this are the same people that embrace and endorse the collective punishment and suffering of all Palestinians in Gaza, half of whom are children, because 20 fucking years ago they elected Hamas. That yes, the majority of the 7 million, I don't know why he keeps saying 5 million, there's about 7 million people in the Israeli regime do not oppose what is happening. They agree with what is happening. They don't think it's vicious enough. And this is fucking clear. If you go look at Israeli social media, go watch their TikToks, go watch Channel 14. Okay? Israeli news, television, whatever. Go read their outlets. Go look at Israeli Twitter. It is so fucking evident. It's like they only lie like for the Western audience. Because if you actually go and watch their media, their social media, their news, they are openly genocidal. Openly. Remember the woman that was asked about babies in Gaza getting killed, and she literally said, I don't care because they're gonna grow up. So what Sam says is accurate. The majority of the Israeli population doesn't care about the genocide in Gaza. The majority of them think that it's either just fine or not going far enough. And way too many think that it's okay for them to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians out of Gaza and then steal the remainder of the land. We're talking 70%. Who are the other 30%? The Palestinians that live within the borders of official Israel? Like, they have so little respect for them, they can't even acknowledge they're Palestinian. They call them Israeli Arabs. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish the Israelis cared more about this fucking Holocaust, because I think that they're the only ones that can really stop it. The reason why Netanyahu feels so confident to get away with this is because he knows he has the people behind him. Because at the end of the day, Netanyahu is an incredibly savvy politician. You think he's been elected like 5 or 6 times since the early 90s because he wasn't savvy? He understands the electorate, and they wouldn't be going as far as they're going if they didn't support it. And what you see in those protests are just protests to get the remainder of the Israeli hostages back. It is not about objecting to the genocide. And instead of Ethan trying to argue with Sam about how that's not true, only to turn around and be like, yeah, actually, I know, I agree with you. It is true, clearly. Why don't you go talk to them? Why don't you ask them? Why don't you ask them why they're not opposing this genocide? Where the fuck are you? I've been asking that for over a year. Where the fuck are the people in the streets saying to stop this? And again, most of them will openly tell you that. Have you ever been on fucking Zionist Twitter? The way that they talk about the Palestinians, like, they're not even hiding it. All of this lying and pretending that there's like all this humanitarianism and not wanting to kill Palestinians, for whatever reason, that is only meant for us. That's meant for us. That's why the majority of what you read in the West will be doing cover for them in American media, being like, oh, well, they're really worried and like, you know, people actually really care. But then it's like, if you actually go and read Israeli media themselves, they will report way more often on the insane genocidal things that they say in ways that you will not see in American media. They do the same thing with the two-state solution. It wasn't until I actually started reading Israeli media, watching Israeli social media, looking at Israeli Twitter, looking through the last 30 years of speeches and statements from Israeli officials, the two-state solution thing has always been bullshit. That's just something that our leaders in the West and in America tell us. They never meant it. The project has always been to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians through whatever means they felt they needed, completely off the land, to take the entire thing and to do greater Israel. So all those years where we're being told that they were working on a two-state solution and they were just struggling to find a partner for peace. Bullshit. Bullshit. Why can't he be like Mandela? Why don't you stop locking up their political leaders then? So yeah. W. Sam, L. Ethan, apparently he learned nothing from this because from what I've been told, his debate with Hasan was totally unhinged. I'll be covering that this weekend as well. If you made it through all of the parts I did with this, comment if you did. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, I know it was rough. I know it was rough, guys. If there was anybody in his life that really loved him, you would think that they would be like, hey, maybe you should take a step back. Apparently there is no one, but yeah. Free Palestine.